Who is here to help us already? We can't do nothing.
Now, days into the disaster, a cruel disconnect is emerging between scenes like this of food arriving by the plane load and what people are not seeing in hard-hit neighborhoods just a few miles away.
He needs food.
Shock and grief are now exploding into anger. Spontaneous riots erupted on the streets, government buildings burned, and there was even gunfire. Officials are warning food convoys to increase their security as hunger and thirst take a mounting toll.
And most of them, they go into the shops and steal food. They bring it here and they hustle it. They sell that black market.
The U.S. and United Nations are working to set up food and water distribution sites, but there are still many challenges. One UN official said the scene here is worse than the aftermath of the 2004 Indonesian earthquake because there were at least local officials there to coordinate with. Here, the government is literally and figuratively in shambles. Only half of Port-au-Prince's police force is on the street.
The Haitian people know a little something about resiliency. They knew it before the earthquake, and they certainly know it now, as they have reestablished a sense of community, now beneath tents instead of in their homes, now destroyed. But they still need water, food, and even medical care. This woman has a hurt leg. She can't walk, but she hasn't received any care.
There were also more aftershocks, sending these jittery residents who were tapping a source of water briefly scrambling. Bulldozers began attacking the massive debris, even when they couldn't tell if anyone was in it. And adding to the general weariness here are the dead left on the streets or decomposing in the ruins of their homes.
2 stories collapsed. There are several people inside, under it.
You can smell them.
Yes.
Those bodies are of this woman's 4 children.
She wants to bury her children.
Yes.
But amid the death, life here continues to renew itself. We found this woman nursing her new son, born last Wednesday in this makeshift encampment, the day after the earthquake.
This is the father.
He and his family together, starting from scratch.
And on the heels of Lester Holt's report, I'm joined now live by NBC's Michelle Kosinski, who's at the Port-au-Prince at the airfield there. Another good morning to you, Michelle. I know you heard Lester's report talking about the desperation, but all the recovery efforts. What are you seeing there from your vantage point today?
Hi, Alex. Yeah, you start to see it really anywhere you go, whether you're driving down a road, even well outside of Port-au-Prince. They tend to be extremely friendly and generous and calm, even when they describe their dire situation. But you start to sense the desperation when they get word of some supplies at a certain point, and then everybody says, okay, I need to get there right now, and everybody goes there at one time. Or, you know, if they think that you have something to give them, you see it in their faces and in their words. But in speaking with them and talking to them, they do remain really calm and almost philosophical about the situation. There's not this sense of panic of people running around and, you know, stealing from each other. But you do see that at points within the city of Port-au-Prince. I mean, over the past couple of days, reports of armed gangs, guys with machetes walking around, escaped prisoners, looting buildings, fights breaking out, especially at unorganized points of distribution. And that's exactly the kind of situation that people coming in like the U.S. Army are trying to avoid. I mean, they need to set up a place where they can give it out, and, you know, where people can wait in line and feel assured that they're not going to miss out, but also where there's security there and adequate security to deal with crowds of hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, yesterday we went with the U.S. military to a brand new installation that they had. It was only a couple of hours old. And they said that about 5 o'clock in the morning, when they touched down in their Black Hawk helicopters, 500 people from a neighboring town immediately rushed their landing area. The Army had to put up this barrier of a bunch of chairs that they had found just in the immediate vicinity. And all of the people were being very calm and polite, but they were willing to wait there for 12 hours in the blazing sun, even though the Army told them, we don't have anything for you right now. You know, we'll have to set it up somewhere else. But the people didn't care. They just felt like if there was a hope that they were going to get a bottle of water right there because the U.S. Army was there, they were going to wait for days if necessary. So even when people are being calm and not seeming to be panicked, you still see signs of that desperation and the hunger and thirst that is almost everywhere you go, Alex.
All right, Michelle Kosinski, thank you very much for that comprehensive perspective. Appreciate that. Meantime, there is still hope this morning as the search continues in Haiti for 6 missing students and faculty from Florida's Lynn University. They were on a humanitarian mission to help feed the poor, but now they are the ones who need help. The parents of 4 students still unaccounted for say they hope the 2 faculty members also missing can help their kids.
Those girls are strong girls. Those faculty members we've been told one's a medical doctor, the other is a geologist, and we've been told that they are unbelievable with survival skills. We hope and pray, and we need this nation behind us.
Well, families of the missing loved ones also hold out hope because of what they're learning from the 8 students and the faculty who did escape from the rubble.
We're hoping that, as Tom, one of the students who was rescued, told us, the roof didn't pancake down. It collapsed at an angle since the hotel was built on a hill. So we're hoping that our daughters have found a pocket of air somewhere.
Right now, 2 search and rescue teams hired by the university are in the region. One team is in the Dominican Republic. They're checking all the hospitals there to see if any of the students and faculty might be there. The other team is in Port-au-Prince. They are combing through the rubble of the Hotel Montana where they were last known to be. The stories of remarkable survival keep hope alive for the families of missing people. Yet another one coming from Port-au-Prince University, where a 29-year-old student was pulled from the rubble last night. She'd been trapped between the 2nd and 3rd floors of the collapsed building for 97 hours. The rescuers from Fairfax County, Virginia, worked nearly 30 hours of digging before they were able to rescue her. She was then taken to a field hospital for treatment. Then there is the miraculous story of a baby who survived 3 days buried in earthquake ruins. And earlier I spoke with Mike Amor, an Australian TV reporter who helped pull baby Winnie from the rubble, and here's what he had to say about the amazing rescue.
We'd gone to this area that was quite devastated to interview an Australian aid worker, and locals came up to us and said, "We're hearing a baby in rubble." And so we went and investigated, and sure enough we could hear this baby deep down in this hole in a building that had collapsed down the side of a hill. It had pancaked effectively. All the stories had become one. Scenes like we've seen so much in this devastation. And we're in this awful position. How can we possibly leave this baby? So a member of our party, one of our translators, was able to jump into the hole and began digging frantically, and he was convinced that he was getting closer to her, that her cries were getting louder. I've got to be honest, I wasn't that convinced. All the rest of us were handing the rubble out. And then the next minute he cries out, I've got her, and handed out baby Winnie to us, and she was remarkably in good shape. And we doused her with water, gave her some water. Obviously she was very, very thirsty. The poor thing had been buried for 3 days, we believe, alongside the bodies of her parents and immediate family. There was an uncle nearby who recognized her, and we gave Winnie to him, and we have followed up on Winnie's progress in the last couple of days, and she's doing very well. She's with her extended family who had given her up for dead, a family that had lost 10 members, so that's their little miracle.